So if you're a founder, developer, or someone building with AI tools like Cursor, Claude, or Codex, you need to understand this before running Paxel by Y Combinator. Because the question is not just, is my source code safe? The real question is, what can someone learn from my AI coding history? And then by the end of this video, you will understand what Paxel does, why AI transcripts can be more sensitive than source code, and then what you should think about before sharing this kind of data. So basically, Paxel is a tool from Y Combinator that analyzes your AI coding sessions and then turns them into a report. It can look how you work with AI, what tools you use, what kind of a prompts you write, and then how you build a software. So first, that sounds useful. Maybe it gives you a builder profile. Maybe it tells you what kind of a builder you are and how good you are at using AI. Maybe it even helps you wisely understand how you build. But here is the big problem. Your AI chat history is not just a random text. If you're building seriously with AI, your transcript is basically your technical notebook. It can include your product, it can include your product idea, architecture, decisions, system prompts, evals, roadmaps, pricing strategy, launch plan, customer research, and then even your funding strategy. Even if Paxel says your source code stays local, that doesn't mean your sensitive information is fully protected. Because AI native startups, the code is not always the most valuable thing. Sometimes the most valuable thing is the reasoning behind the code. That I call it as the brain. So for example, let's say you're building an unreleased SaaS product. You ask Cursor or a Claude to help you design the backend architecture. Then you ask it to compare competitors. Then you ask it to write onboarding flows or a pricing pages, a launch plan, and then YC application draft or something else. That entire conversation is not just coding help. That is the product strategy. That is the founder thinking. That is basically a compressed version of your company. And if a tool analyzes that transcript and then creates a report, even if it does not upload raw repo, it can still create a derived data from it. That means summaries, metadata, file paths, commands, or key prompts, and the session summaries, decisions that you have made, and the pattern how you build, the pattern how you think is just rewiring your brain. So this is where the technical risk comes in. There is a big difference between local processing and the cloud analysis. So local processing means the tool runs on your machine and then the data stays there only. So cloud analysis means some version of the data or a summary of the data may be sent to a remote server or LLM proxy for analysis. And then that distinction matters a lot because once the data leaves your machine, you now have to think about it or how the access control works, how the logs work, how my metadata goes, deletion policy, and the consent. Who can access it? That is the one question. How long is it stored? Is it used for the model evaluation? Is it concentrated to your profile? So here is the gray part. Can you review the exact upload before you're sending it? No, we cannot. Those are not small questions. If you are working on a confidential IP, trade secrets, or a product that is not launched yet. And then that's my main issue with the Paxel. It's not that I'm saying this is a malware. I'm not saying that. The concern is more subtle. The concern is that founders might run it thinking, oh, my code stays local, so I'm safe. But the AI transcripts might already contain the secret sauce that your system prompt might be there, your agent workflow might be there, your eval logic might be there, your invention notes might be there. So your entire roadmap might be there. So the source code staying local is only one part of the story. The bigger question is what transcript derived intelligence is leaving your machine. And if the answer is enough to understand what I'm building, then you should be very careful. Also, there is a YC angle here. YC is not just a random company. YC is connected to startup application, startup school, and the funding as well. So if founders feel like attaching a Paxel token or sharing this report might help their chances, then it creates pressure. Now it's not just a private developer tool anymore. It becomes something founders might use because they think it can improve their opportunity, right? And then that makes the consent even more important. In my opinion, the safest design would be very simple. Make it local first, generate the report locally, save the exact report as a file, let the user review everything, then only if the user clearly approves, upload it manually. That would give founders more control. Because right now, with AI tools, our chat history is becoming extremely valuable. It is not just a logs, it is not just a prompts, it is not just coding habits. It is a record how we think, build, test, and then make decisions. That's how the brain works. That's how the simple framework works. So if you only use AI for a small coding help, your risk is probably lower. If you use AI to build most of your product, your risk is higher. And then if your AI chats include roadmap, business strategy, prompts, evals, agent design, unreleased product direction, or if it is having any sensitive information inside your sessions, that is very risky. I would say the risk is very high. So my recommendation is don't run Paxel on confidential startup work unless you fully understand what is being analyzed, what is being started. And a possible YC signal is not worth exposing the private thinking behind your company. So before you run tools like this, ask yourself one thing. If someone read a summary of my AI coding sessions, would they understand my startup? If yes, treat that transcript then still company data. That's the real lesson here. In the AI era, your chat history might be your lab notebook, your strategy doc, your architecture plan, and your invention record all in one place. And for AI native founders, that record might be the company. So be careful on that. And then if you like this video, hit subscribe. Please support me. I'm planning to make more content like this in future. I really appreciate your support.